in. Good deal. All kinds of good stuff. You get a little bit of a trim up here. Is this the summer look? For May 27th, please stand and join me with the pledge allegiance to the flag. Over there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Slota?
Here.
Mr. Simonis?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden?
Here. Communications.
No communications tonight.
Okay, we're going to go right to open forum. Guests shall speak in an orderly fashion or limit to remarks of 5 time minutes or less. The speaker shall deliver their comments, concerns in a civil tone and without the use of profanity, personal attacks, or other disruptive behavior, which may result in the offender's removal from the meeting. The speaker shall not be interrupted and except in a matter of urgency. Would anybody like to speak tonight, please come up to the microphone if you do.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Karen O'Brien, and I got a couple things. I'm going to start something against these smoke shops. We've got 5 of them in our little tiny town, all within a mile, plus a distribution center. I think that's enough. We're learning more and more that these smoke shops are stuff that is causing all kinds of issues, and it's something our children are starting to use, and I think we've got to stop letting them invade our community. Also, I took a little trip since we've had so much rainy days around our community. We're beginning to look really trashy. These signs that everybody puts up wherever they feel like putting it up, although I understand that we can't put them up at our home when we're having a contractor do work, but yet they're posting them all over our property. And not even people from the town of Shenango, they're all over the place, and it looks ridiculous. Also, I noticed that there's some camping trailers that are being used as homes. Now, I understand it's really tough out there right now, but somebody should check them for sewage, water. You know, that's a big issue. There's some housing that it's burned houses that have just been left for 2 or 3 years. Nothing's being done. Our gateway to town of Shenango is, you look at it, the corner of 12 and 12A, it's disgusting. There's no reason to have vehicles that don't run just sit. And a lot of houses are like that. You see it more and more. We gotta start cleaning up our community and make us what we used to be. It's really getting bad. And I'm willing if needed. That's all I got.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Cameron Fisher was here a month ago or so. 10 Asbury Ave, and complaint with 7 Asbury Ave, and at that point in time had proposed that the town looks at adopting something similar to the City of Binghamton lockdown law, and I think that is a pretty good follow-up to what we just heard. I mean, it's not, I know some of the things that was brought up is in terms of law enforcement, but there are other things, and I don't know how much you guys have done any research into it, but just to read you a little blurb at the top of the ordinance, there's really not too many mentions of law enforcement, although I know that is involved, and I don't know exactly the point system and the schedule. It's something we'd have to visit with the City of Binghamton. But at the top, it talks about property and building nuisance reform, and then it just lists general code, building construction, unsafe buildings, fire prevention, housing and property maintenance, noise, solid waste, trees and shrubs, and zoning. So I'm not asking to take anyone's individual rights away. That's wrong. This is talking about things that are already instilled and being enforced and holding people accountable. Now, I know with the City of Binghamton, the mayor is ultimately the one that does that, so there would have to be something, you know, if we did look at installing this ordinance, probably be, you know, amongst you guys or something, but we've got to look at doing something. She's right. This is getting out of hand. We're hardworking people, and you know, we pay our taxes. And I don't know that all these other people do. You know, where's this 70 versus 30 coming from? When's the percentage going to work out here? You know. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Nope. Came in at the right time.
Hi, Matthew Ross, 192 Ransom Road. I don't know if the board plans to address it tonight in the children's home topic. Residents are just wondering, you know, if the town has officially asked for a hearing, or if they're going to get any official approval, okay, or any literature at all from the Office of Mental Health or New York State on the siting. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, seeing that we're all set, we're going to move on to old business. 5.1 wastewater treatment plant updates.
What you see here is just an amendment that needs to be authorized by the town. There's a resolution there included. I do have one other one that happened today. There was New York alert was sent out today again. It was a valve that didn't open properly at the wastewater treatment plant. So it was 500 gallons of treated effluent that went on the ground.
Was this a result of the contractors in the project, or?
So you don't know if it was old equipment or new equipment?
That was new equipment, it was just a valve that didn't open all the way, I don't know why, I didn't get the answer why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Craig, there's no fail-safe against this? If the valve doesn't open next time or anytime there's a malfunction, we're gonna have another spill?
They were equalizing the tanks, so there will be, once everything's up online, will be a fail-safe. They were equalizing the tanks and the valve.
So it happened while personnel was on site?
Correct.
Okay.
So does anybody have an issue with this amendment, number 5?
I'm a little confused by the dates with all of this. Apparently, when I went back and looked through this, I had missed this in the note from B&L back in January. I remember an initial discussion where the contractor had asked for additional time, and it was rejected based off of some comments that B&L made. When I went back and looked at this letter from January 27th, it looks as though, well, it does say that B&L is in agreement with the contractor. And those dates for substantial completion are November 17th, not August 18th. And then when I look at this amendment, this only takes us through October 27th. So I'm not really sure which dates that we're working on, because I know that the board in the previous discussion that I recall that we agreed on was August 18th for substantial completion. Now, it looks as though some of the initial claims by the contractor were rejected. However, there were several regarding weather that they were in agreement with, which gave them that additional 3-month extension. So what I don't recall is this board agreeing to this completion date. It was my understanding we were marching to August 18th, but now I've got August 18th, letter from B&L saying substantial completion will take us through November 17th, and then they're looking for funds to manage the project through October 27th. So I think a little clarity is in order, just so the board understands, you know, which direction or schedule we're marching to.
I agree. I thought it was August when the completion date was gonna be.
Yeah, I thought we agreed, let's not give them the extension. Let's wait to
Yeah.
see where we're at. If we give them a blank metaphorical check right now of an additional 90 days or whatever the math is, why do it?
Well, and that was based off of a conversation that we had here
Yeah,
regarding some, I should say, rebuttals from B&L saying that they weren't entitled to that. But when I go back through this back in January, it appears that B&L is in agreement with them, not for the reasons the contractor stated, but for weather delays. Weather delays and electrical construction delays, which gave them essentially the equivalent of those 3 months. So I think what I'd like to do is have this in sync so we don't keep coming back and doing this a month at a time, or we're a month off, or we're 3 weeks off, or we're 90 days off. If the contractor, and it is B&L's recommendation, that November 17th is the date for substantial completion, then I think all of us really need to get on the same page with that. Because it was my understanding initially that B&L did not agree with the November 17th date. However, it looks as though that was amended for different reasons, not for the same ones the contractor initially laid out.
I agree totally.
So I think at this point, I'm not ready to approve this based off of these dates. I think I would like to see this redone, and I think from a board perspective, do we want to review this to look at what substantial completion should be? Are we going to agree to these 90 days? You can have that.
No, I got it right on here.
if any input you have on this, Eric, to clear this up would be appreciated.
So, and I don't have I'm sorry, I don't have a copy of it in front of me, but
Eric,
there was no, I do have this.
do you have the one from January?
Oh, not from January, but I do know that initially the contractor proposed a schedule that was pretty far out. And we all worked together collectively to rein that in, identify things that needed to happen to accommodate that more condensed schedule. And collectively, we arrived at a substantial completion date of August 18th, as described in this letter. So that was a big improvement because they were pushing out into October and November, and that's not an ideal time to start up facilities, start up pump stations. So there's an approved change orders. So we have a contract 1A, which is the general contract, change order number 6, and contract number 1B, which is the electrical, mechanical, plumbing. They have change order number 3, which has modified those contract times. So those have been modified, and this now is in sync with that, which it's taken a little while to get to this point, but that is my understanding that those change orders are in effect, and this matches the change orders to accommodate that time extension.
Contractor is still of the opinion that he's requesting November 17th. That letter that he wrote in January is also attached to the B&L letter. So if you have something in writing from the contractor that they agreed to August 18th, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
No, because they changed that one change order. After I signed it, it went back and they wrote all over it and then they signed it. That's, and I thought we were on hold about that. Because you're right, they didn't change their request for time.
Eric, I just think this needs to be addressed because there's just too much
Sure.
ambiguity surrounding this.
Okay, so what we need is copies of this approved change orders, make sure everyone's on the same page.
And I'm not gonna sign any more change orders if they're gonna go to the contractor and they're gonna mark it all up and change it. I'm not gonna do that.
I wouldn't.
Is it out of bounds for me to have the thought that maybe some of the reasons why we had extensions to begin with is because maybe B&L wasn't paying attention to why the delays was going on in the first place?
David, I don't know that. All I know is, now we were talking about August 18th, which is what Eric is referencing now. But it appears that B&L was in support of November 17th.
Right.
And I just don't remember this body having that discussion.
Okay.
Because I know I didn't come up with August 18th. And it was based off a discussion that Leeson had with the board. So and she had sent this back in January, and for whatever reason, we didn't address this or didn't have that discussion, from what I remember, is my point. So now there's a request for an extension for services from B&L that takes me through October 27th. But at this point, does the engineer and the contractor really believe they'll be done by August 18th or October 27th, or are they still really marching to November 17th? I can't prove that to you.
Jay, which contract are you talking about? GD Vincennes or the Prime, the contract 1?
It's the DeVincentis one, Alex.
Right, this-
It was attached, hang on a second.
That's a separate discussion. This resolution is all for the other contract extension, if I'm not mistaken.
For which contract?
Contract 1 at the plant primarily.
So we're just talking about the delay that was caused by,
If
Not
you
getting
look
this-
at the attachment in the agenda email, it shows you contract number 1A, general change order 06, and contract numbers 1B electrical, 1C mechanical, 1D plumbing. And this has a completion date of August 18th on it, in this amendment that we're being asked to approve today.
So,
No,
to your-
no, I think this memo says, it acknowledges, as the gentleman indicated, you guys already approved change orders for a number of contracts to have substantial completion be August 18th. The resolution that they're asking for you to approve tonight is to approve an amendment with Barton and LeJudas's contract for Barton and LeJudas to be paid additional construction representative services.
The waters are muddied even further for me. I think I would like to see it defined, which contract we're talking about and who has what substantial completion dates. Are all the contractors working towards August 18th? I don't know that.
That's the last I knew, was the substantial completion for both contracts was August 18th. Then there was a final completion.
So Jay, what my recollection is, and obviously, I mean, you want the paperwork, so you should get it, but my recollection is all contracts except for the GD Vincentis currently have an approved substantial completion date of August 18th. GD Vincentis wanted it to be November and wouldn't agree to anything different. So that never got approved, and technically they're past substantial completion. They're supposed to be done in February. So that's like a pending issue that needs to still be resolved. What is in front of you tonight is a resolution asking that Barton and LeJudas be paid more money for their continued resident project representative services due to the extended substantial completion date for all of the other contracts.
The main.
How
de-
was the, sorry.
no, but the main delay for activities done in the treatment plant was just due to the not getting the switch here, because it had to be on back order.
That was the biggest
That was the biggest one.
delay.
So I don't understand. We're just waiting for the switch. And so it's not like we're doing any extra work or anything. We're not redesigning anything engineer-wise. I just don't know what the big dollars are needed for that extension, because we're just waiting for that switch. But we're not doing any extra work. Design.
There's no extra design, so what this is for is inspection services that are out there, and that's really a daily rate to accommodate our inspector that's out there, and additional construction phase engineering. And what we've done in this amendment is the RPR services, in the original agreement, we have a mechanism in that original agreement to accommodate extension of time. And so what that does is it increases the inspection days in a linear fashion and the cost in a linear fashion. So as the time, as is required more time, there's required more inspection, and likewise more cost.
So did we have two separate inspection units, one for the treatment plant and one for the outside work, putting the sewer?
Yeah, the way it's all laid out is, we have inspection staff mostly focused on the plant, and then we also have linear work, and then we have supplemental inspection as needed. So this is I don't have a copy of this approved change order, but it does increase the amount of time, I think it was by, what, 188 days?
It is 188 days, which means right now we're already over budget in that category, and I still don't know where October 27th was derived from. How did you come up with 188 days?
Well, that is the change order request that was approved in change order number 6. So extending the contractor's duration by 188 days. So we're just likewise accommodating that in our inspection and our construction phase services.
October's always been in there. We just had an August substantial complete.
I don't know the significance without looking it up this October 27th, ready for final payment. I can't think of the significance of that. I don't recall that, but I do know that the February 11th mechanism for reimbursement of that is baked into our original agreement. And the additional construction phase that's necessary, office work, coordination, all that, we're capturing that on a time and expense basis during this period. And I think, and that is what we feel is the fairest way of capturing that, 'cause that's cost that is actually incurred by that extension of time. Because the rest of our, if you recall, the rest of our agreement is lump sum for the town's request, initial request. And I was not aware that we're still in negotiation apparently on the pump station contract, even since I was hoping to get that resolved.
So, are these funds, maybe this is a question for Nate, I'm reading this correctly, 184,000 and an additional 253,000. Were these already accounted for in that,
During the contingency,
the contingency budget?
that's where this will,
Yeah, that's where it would come from.
this is where it comes, 437,000 if you look down to Exhibit C.
How much is left in that contingency budget right now?
I don't, yeah, oh, I can't say anything nice, so I gotta say anything. All right, what do you want to do?
So we're not gonna go any farther tonight until we get more info?
What do you want to do?
What's that?
What do you want to do?
I'd rather wait, get more information, because we've got a lot of stuff going on. It's not, it's like you just mentioned, we don't have the contract 2, that's got stuff going out. And I think we're confusing the two, blending the two.
And I am, David. There's no about it. There's multiple contracts there that I'd like to get underneath, and you're right. I would like to see it broken out in a little more clearer manner so we can look at this. But I do think it's probably the best thing to do because I'm a no vote tonight.
All right, so what do you want to do? You want to push it next meeting?
I'm good for the next meeting.
Table
I'd
it
like
to the next
see-
meeting and,
I'd like to see some of these date issues resolved all the way around with all, whether there's 3 contracts, how many contracts there are. But this has been very ambiguous. So I'm looking at this and it's all over the place. I know there's 188 days. I know we're into that budget already because it was from April 12th. So I don't see the urgency of it on doing this tonight. I'd like to see this cleared up.
I'm for that.
okay. No, table it. I mean, you can, the amendment's not, the resolution's not even down in the resolutions, is it?
I think it is.
No, I don't believe it is.
No?
So it wouldn't be able to be voted on tonight unless the board agreed together to vote on it, because it's not
Right,
part of
it's
the,
not part of
it wasn't a resolution that was put together, would've had to get pushed to next meeting anyways. It was one that was put in there under the, so it's fine to push it off to the next meeting and get all the information and have it listed under the true resolutions.
I have my marching orders on that, so.
Okay.
We'll provide that additional clarity.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Anybody else have any info or anything, questions for Greg on the wastewater treatment plant updates?
I'm fine.
All right. 5.2, Children's Home Response. That's the Ransom Road.
So,
I'll let
do
Jay
you want me to
take it.
take this, Kevin?
Yeah, I think Jay should take it.
So, there's been a number of emails, public comments, and letters, and phone calls, frankly, that have come in regarding the community residential facility that the Children's Home of Wyoming Conference wants to place on Ransom Road. New York Mental Hygiene Law, Section 41.34, allows a sponsoring agency the ability to search for sites they feel are suitable for community residential facilities. After a sponsoring agency selects sites, they submit them to the New York Department of Health for approval. If approval is granted, the sponsoring agency then notifies the town, and the town has an opportunity to respond in only 3 ways. 1, we can approve it as recommended from the Department of Health. 2, we can suggest multiple alternatives to the sponsoring agency that would accommodate such a facility. And 3, we can object based on over-concentration in our town. Obviously, this is the only one that I'm aware of, so it's going to be difficult to mount an objection. The town was afforded 40 days to suggest alternative sites, and 2 alternative sites were suggested within that period. In addition, I met with the Children's Home President, George Dermody, regarding an additional site, 305 Smith Hill Road. Mr. Dermody reviewed the site along with 91 Shenango Bridge Road and 15 Woodland Road. All 3 were deemed unsuitable by the sponsoring agency. Therefore, they were not submitted to the Department of Health. The town of Shenango does not have the obligation to submit alternative sites for community residential facilities without the sponsoring agency. Many residents have come forward publicly with concerns of access of emergency vehicles. We talked about the narrowness of the roadway, water supply, septic designs, parking, traffic, building size, long-term land use. However, none of these concerns or any other, except for over-concentration, are grounds for an objection and a request for a hearing. In a follow-up conversation with the Children's Home, they would like to work with the town and the residents to address reasonable concerns if they can. I've requested that they provide updates as design progresses so that we may have an opportunity to suggest input in the design. I realize this isn't the outcome for the residents. New York state law allows facilities like this to be placed without traditional local objections. I would just encourage all residents to participate in governmental issues and voice your opinions to state leaders. Us requesting a hearing is going to get denied. This law's been on the books, Counselor, I believe 30+ years. Every time it's been tried, even objection of over-concentration, it's never been defeated. And we don't have grounds for an objection, unfortunately.
Thanks, Jay. Does anybody else have any comments?
It's not what they want to hear, but in essence, we're fighting City Hall, so.
I don't agree, I don't agree with it, but our hands
Yeah.
are tied. I mean, there's
And I
nothing
just
that
want to
has
be
a-
clear,
That's
the
personally, I
town
don't
board
agree
did
with it.
not approve the site. And we will not, or I will not be voting. I don't want to speak for the board, but I will not be voting for approval, but they don't need our approval regardless. They'll follow the building codes, they'll follow all the rest of the codes that are required by them, but they do not need site approval from the town.
That's it.
That's
I
it.
don't know, guys,
There's nothing that we can do with it. It's frustrating. Okay,
we gotta move on.
gotta move on. 5.3, secure vestibule. What are we doing?
I personally feel.
I have
that
no
we
idea.
I think we got way out on our skis on this. I guess we all thought it was a good idea, something has to be done, but I don't think everybody's on the same page. We asked Alex and Greg to do things, and I don't think they really know what we want to do. Talk to the engineers, and they don't know what they want to do, so at the last meeting or whatever, we decided that we didn't account for the most dangerous part of the building here, and that's up in the courtroom. So I think we got to just start from the very beginning and And whatever that means, I don't like the way it's going now because I don't understand it. There can be a better way. That's my opinion.
I mean, the only caveat here is that we did, not to mix issues here, but when we were doing the audit of the court, we talked to the judge about a potential grant they could get to secure at the top of the stairs, coming up the ramp,
Right.
build a bathroom there. I mean, this will have to be phases, but going and doing that phase, but then allowing people to just walk in this door and get right to the elevator.
But you said that the court didn't realize we were this far along in the process of doing this. They would have liked to have been part of the conversation. Is that what I heard, or?
I don't think they knew this conversation was happening, period.
Yeah.
I mean, these are two totally separate conversations. We just happened to bring this up because Jay and I were there. Jay, do you recall, was that a $50,000 grant potentially?
It was something like that, Luke, yeah.
And that would be enough to be a large lump sum, if
Yeah.
not all of building a handicap accessible bathroom,
Yeah.
cinching up the storage up there. Anyway, I think that's a separate conversation, but that could be phase two, and that phase two could be nothing out of pocket, if minimal. But this still needs to be done, or else that's useless, because someone can come and take the elevator and walk right up the back stairs, so to speak.
So how do they access the elevator? Or what prevents them from going upstairs and coming back down the stairs?
That's why this vestibule has to be secured. This phase absolutely has to happen, or else the other one doesn't do anything.
But the top side's not secured. Regardless of how you do this,
Once,
you're still not secured.
once
and
you
I think-
open those doors.
Right. So, in my opinion, the most vulnerable spot in Town Hall is the second floor.
100%.
And this does nothing to address that security.
So do we get that grant and start working on that phase first? Is that phase one?
I think we should take a look at that. The other piece of this is that I think there are some things that can be done within this phase to address some of those concerns, okay? It'll require some simple key fob badge readers, but to move forward the way this is designed, I'm not in favor.
Where did this initial design come from? I mean, that
I think it
predates-
was just something that we put out an RFP that Keystone, Alex, if I have that correct, came up with.
Correct. We had a budget amount of 350,000, I think. We bid it out. A couple of architectural firms came back in on the RFP. Keystone got it for 37.9 about a year ago. We were supposed to have been done by now with them, but you see kind of where we landed.
I think some of the other things too, Luke, is that some of the items in the water department and the clerk's office weren't immediately addressed. Because there's some, as you can see, is particularly on the drawing in the town clerk's office, there's some rework of cabinets and doors that'll need to be done. But I think the doors blocking the elevator at the back of the vestibule are just gonna require someone to constantly let people in there. I'd rather see the doors on each side of the hallway. I know for the employees, it's not super convenient coming over here to the community room, and we might be affecting the break room or something, but to me, that is far more secure than just containing them in here and then walking somebody, you know, have to come out of either the water department or the clerk's office and walk them to the elevator.
And
I
was
thi-
that the original scope of work, was this is what we want here, and then upstairs we're worried about this too? Or I
I
feel
don't
like this
really
just
think there
wasn't
was a scope.
explained
I-
very well.
It wasn't.
So
It wasn't.
part of the RFP documents envisioned Keystone meeting with a team from the town, which ended up being Greg and Alex, for communication of what the project wanted, well, what the objectives were and were to accomplish. And then this is Keystone's draft
Yeah,
of
it is.
of
It's a
that.
draft. That's fair.
Right. So like it's not surprising that you guys are, I think, seeing it and going, not quite. So I mean, it's fine, right? I don't think Keystone will have an issue, either if you choose to terminate the contract or continue to work with them on alternative solutions that actually address some
Right,
of the
and
issues.
and Luke, that's fair. I'm not convinced all of that was articulated to them.
So are we,
Well,
Gonna-
that's the first time I heard about that grant possibility.
we
That's
just found out about it last week.
But the last I heard was like, it's gonna sink $300,000 in this. But then we started talking about, well, how about upstairs? Then it was brought up like, we're gonna have to rip out $100,000 of what we just built to make it fit upstairs. So that's why I wanna say, let's go back, let's start from the very beginning.
Yeah, so is this as simple as, well, I don't know if it's just a sit down with Keystone to level set where we're at now. Hey, we're sorry, when this originally started, the vision wasn't where it is now. We think we have a grant for upstairs for roughly this much. Draw out that scope as what we need the purpose to be down here.
I think you can do that. I think it can be all-encompassing. I think it can be carved out for whatever we think that grant could be. But I think we ought to do something to address the second floor. And
Yeah,
I think it can be done minimally.
The grant timing is September, and because it's security focused, is that me? I apologize. Because it's security focused, the judge is fairly confident we'll get the maximum amount. The last time they got this grant was for storage, I believe, right? So he said this should be, he didn't use the word easy, but he's felt very comfortable saying this is something that the state is going to be very, very generous with. And I think it maxes out around 50 grand. And there is no match. So,
Yeah.
It's fair. You're right.
so that could be phase one for all I care, just to lay the groundwork. And we talked about where a door would be upstairs, where we would put the bathroom. But somebody else has to draw that up. I'm not.
How do you feel how it's been so far, the process, Greg and Alex? Like, you got a feel for this, or?
I mean, I feel like this is our fault.
We had an RFP, which
Yeah,
we designed,
yeah,
board approved, and it was designed based on the RFP. In the RFP, there's nothing that states the second floor. So I don't know if we can proceed with that RFP. We may have to put out another one.
We can proceed. It's a professional service, so you can just use them.
Pivot from what we said,
Yes.
not terminate the contract. They won the contract fair and square. We just run with it.
would you put it this way, would you guys have different opinions on what we proposed, or they proposed?
I like what they have currently to address the two windows that we need. I know that Gene didn't want to see interior modifications, but to accommodate Adam's side, we have to do some interior modifications, and that's where the dollar amount on the front end, we asked Keystone, just give us a real rough number as to, including those interior modifications, are we at 350, 400, and they came back 225, 250, so the discussion from there was, all right, can we keep moving ahead then with them to advance that secure vestibule area and then make recommendations on how to communicate? But that's where we get the stumbling blocks of how to communicate upstairs. How do you lock it down upstairs? How do you, once you're into the corridor, how do you not move around everywhere?
How do you address personnel coming to let people into the elevators? Who's gonna do that?
Correct, and we were gonna get recommendations from them on that and how to control that, but then, like, it ends up being like an apartment building where you're pushing the floor that you want.
Yeah.
Or the room that you want, and if they're not there, you're gonna hit the next one.
Yeah, and I mean, they're the professionals, not us, but a court employee is not going to come downstairs, and I do not want Adam and Tim to have to manage this.
Thank you.
On a court day, it's a full-time job.
Each time I'm here, I actually tell someone how to go to the court office. And I'm not here a lot, but every time I'm here, I direct someone to it. It never fails.
100%.
Yeah, I walk in the door and they're like, "Do you know where
But
this
we
is?" I'm
need to
like,
have that accessibility,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, with the proper signage and that
Nope.
closed off to the elevator, you know what I'm saying? Close off the corridor. If they have access to the elevator, they're gonna go up and go to the court.
There is a sign right in front of the
But
elevator.
what I'm saying.
How to
what
close it
I'm
off.
not
is the-
saying that's what I'm saying is that the way this is designed right now is not efficient for the town. To make it efficient for the town is to close it off in the corridor in each side of the hallway, let the access to the elevator with the proper signage. They're gonna walk right in, take the elevator second floor and go to the court.
The tricky thing there is then we're fully accessing supervisor, assessor
We have to,
No,
we have to
that-
close
we
that
would
off.
close
You can-
that off.
That one's an easy one to close off.
Yeah.
upstairs.
Yeah.
And the
that one's easy.
bathrooms on that side. That's the issue, is we'd have to then provide a bathroom to the court, which is why we talked about that storage area. But
There's room.
yeah,
There's proper way to do it.
that's, the upstairs modifications are, in my eyes, gonna be much easier than this.
All right, and like Nate said, contract-wise, if you meet with Keystone and modify, they can get a revised scope from you, and if we want to have Ken Gay come in, I don't think he'd be opposed to that.
Yeah, I would volunteer to sit with Greg or Alex or whomever and with them and literally say, you're the professional, these are our goals. We apologize that initially this wasn't this far out, but how do you tweak this? And, you know, I get Gene doesn't want that, but if that's what has to be modified to put the 2 windows from a construction standpoint internally, like, it's just gonna have to be done. But right now, it's looking like we're still under the total budget.
Yeah.
There's wiggle room here, so it's just,
I'm all for that.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, we gotta get the number before we can say no or yes to this.
So the actual,
We can do a quick meeting, even with you two, is fine.
Okay.
Hit
Yeah,
me
I
with the
pick a day and I'll
to this.
come in and meet,
Okay.
and then,
the actual money set aside for this is $520,000.
Oh my God.
I'll shoot you an email.
Whatever you guys wanna do, just please put it in that email so we don't
Yeah.
have this.
and if you do
We'll
want
see.
Keystone to come to a meeting, just let me know, give me a week head notice maybe to let him know.
Okay.
Or to
That's what
coordinate.
we'll do. I'll shoot
It's
out an email.
really, it's up to if Ken Gay can get here. He's their prime on this. I don't want to have somebody else come in.
I agree.
Do we
I don't-
need to make a motion to, or is it fine to just,
So, to the extent that what you're doing is asking Keystone to propose a new contract amount, because they're gonna charge more, in response to your requests for kind of a enhanced scope. So, that scope needs to be prepared, so probably maybe Alex and Greg, after talking possibly with Jay and Luke, put together something that you guys then review and go, yes, this actually does look like what we want. Now Keystone put together a new quote for this enhanced scope, and then you'll end up approving the enhanced scope.
okay, I think that works. All right, everybody's good with that? All right, moving along.
Thank you.
Oh, what? Thank you. Okay. 5.4, Town Storage Network Infrastructure, that was a Gene. Probably not gonna be able to do anything with that tonight.
Well, we talked about this last meeting, and I think, was there a resolution for this?
It wasn't for that, it was the UPS server purchase. There was like those 2 options, and I think you guys approved both of them.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did,
so
you did
it's-
a motion,
it's
so
option,
the
right,
the resolution is to just recognize that you did a motion.
yeah.
Pending this, wasn't it?
No, it was
No, I
option
think
2.
we-
We did it.
Yeah, we had to move forward
Forward,
with the
right.
with the UPS backup.
Was it just option 2? I think because I checked with
I think it
Adam.
was just option 2,
It was option 2.
and he was notified, yeah.
Mhm.
Because Gene wanted me to notify him,
So then I think I need to,
so we need to do the resolution tonight.
yeah, I need to modify it. I'd originally had it as just option 2, but Adam, you, I think, listened to the audio and said, oh, it sounded like they did both options. So maybe that's,
So,
it was just option 2.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll update that and
Yeah,
send it
because the
over to Adam.
resolution's in there. So you can update that. We
Yeah.
can approve that tonight.
Yeah, you could approve it tonight. It's just, it won't be quite this one. It'll be modified slightly, which
Okay.
is not a problem.
All right, moving on. 5.5, Town Manager Discussion. Nobody has anything, right?
We didn't do anything on that. I'll shoot an email out to everybody. I was looking for some additional input the last we spoke, but I'll just, I'll send an email out to everybody for some for some additional input, and I'll have something together for next meeting.
Okay. 5.6, code enforcement officer interviews. Jay, I'm gonna go with you on this again.
So, we had two applicants. One withdrew before the interview. So we had sat with the one person who went through with the interview. They've got their certification for New York. We had some concerns. They just don't have any experience at all working as a code enforcement official. So it was kind of a little concerning. You know, they were self-employed. They seemed like they could handle the job, but there was just some concerns about, you know, utilizing the tools that we use here at the town, whether it would be the tablet out in the field or the software, or, you know, just being current on some experience with some codes. It would have been nice to have another applicant in there. So through all of this, and they were from out of state, and it was a little ambiguous to me whether or not, you know, there was any experience from that previous state. So the three of us are recommending that we reopen the application process through June 18th and adjust the pay range. I believe we advertised it at 45,000 to 60,000, kind of depending upon experience. But it's our recommendation that we move that from 50,000 to 65,000. Making a few phone calls, we think we're getting there, but we're just not drawing any applications. There seems to be a very limited pool to draw from, and our pay range just wasn't commensurate for what that position is gonna take in upstate New York. So that's what we're recommending.
Motion?
I can make that motion.
I would second.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to reopen the application process for the code enforcement official until June 18th and adjust the pay range from 50,000 to 65,000, depending upon experience.
Second that.
Any discussion?
I have none.
I have none.
I have none.
Mr. Slota?
Aye.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay, so we'll get that to Jody tomorrow to get that back out there.
Jay, thank you guys for
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
Did you need to,
You need to put a dollar amount on it.
yeah,
Oh, for the Indeed, what was
And
You're gonna need to make an,
I think we did $1,000 last time. But I don't know how much we expended. I don't remember.
yeah, it was like a.
So we'll need a motion to authorize $1,000 to be used for advertisement for the code enforcement official, being placed on Indeed. And I believe we have opportunity to advertise on some Broome County sites as well as the Southern Tier Builders Officials Association.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have none.
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 Mr. Slota?
Aye.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
We got that. So now we're moving on to 5.7, water improvement grant. B&L.
So, this,
Just hold it close.
It
records you better for the live.
okay, thank you, Alex. So I think the town is up to speed with this project. Last year, we submitted this project to EFC. We got good feedback from the funding agencies, and that feedback was, we really need to focus on EC-related. We can't just have a mix of EC-related emerging contaminants, so EC-related parts and pieces of a project mixed in with some other needs in the project. So based on that feedback, we've gone ahead and really separated the projects. So, and we're focusing, what we're talking about today is peeling out the emerging contaminant pieces. So focusing on that EC-related improvement needs. And we've put together a revised project listing that based on the, direction of the town board, let's focus on that. That's the priority. EC-related projects right now are eligible for 70% grant funding. And there's really no cap on that. So what are the things that we need to do in the town to improve the water system? Are those EC-related? If yes, then let's capture that in this report and let's resubmit and see if we can identify or see if we can be successful with an EC-funded project. So that's what the team has done. And the team put together a memo really just identifying high level the project. There is a time element here. That report, as I think as the town knows, it needs to be submitted this week. So we've been working diligently to do that, to make sure everything is all ready, but we don't want to submit it without the town's blessing. And this is kind of the final opportunity to ask any more questions or have any input, and then we're going to hit send on this application.
So Eric, on the emerging contaminants, because when I first looked at that, obviously we're talking about well water sources.
Correct.
But it looks like there's a significant amount of pipe. Is that due to the age of the pipe and contaminants maybe getting into the pipeway?
No.
Or how can that be included if they're focused on emerging contaminants?
So the primary issue is the wells that are EC related are serving a service area, mostly in kind of the northeastern quadrant. We need to move water from more of the southeastern quadrant over to the northeastern, and we need to be able to do that in reliable fashion. Additionally, when you have wells and you have a fire flow event, you're pulling water from storage tanks, but you're also relying on the wells. The wells are helping replenish during that fire flow event. If those wells aren't there, we need to reliably move water from one area of the town to the other to accommodate the wells that are no longer online.
So how are you drawing this in? Is this a size issue on the diameter of the piping? Or, because it looks like a significant amount of the piping in the system is being replaced.
Upsized piping to accommodate the hydraulics, and then additional piping for redundancy. Because some of these areas, when we remove the well, they're only going to be served, if we were to remove the well, not only do you have issues with hydraulic throughput for fire flow events, you really have one means of conveyance. And if there's a water main break, then that means that those areas that were originally served by a well no longer have that connectivity.
I'm all for this. I'm just trying to understand how you bring in that
Yep.
significant number of piping into a grant that's identified as emerging contaminants. That's why if we can do that, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's a significant amount. But
Are you worried that with all the pipe, it's gonna lower our chances to get the grant?
I'm just wondering if it is it your experience that typically that is included?
If you can identify an engineering need behind it, and that's why on this iteration we focused on why is it we need to replace the pipe. It's from a hydraulic throughput standpoint and a redundancy standpoint, because we can no longer rely on those local sources in that service area to accommodate that.
Okay.
We want to run 12A. We get up Poplar Hill, but we want to keep going Poplar Hill to Maplewood.
And I saw the map. I did
Yep.
read through it, and it's great. But there's a significant amount of piping, and I guess when I just read through of kind of what the grant is for, I'm like, can we get this included? I mean, if that's an argument to make
Yep.
for the grant,
Sure.
great. That's my only comment.
Okay.
If it doesn't,
And part of this budget, Darren just mentioned under his breath, that's a brand new road. Part of this budget is to repave that road?
What? Oh,
Within any of this work, the scope has to be part of redoing the whole roadway, because that's a brand new road this happens in 3 years, I have a 10-year life expectancy.
Understood. So,
Right.
and looking at this, Eric, what is the typically what's the
So,
restoration
Yeah, the
piece?
typical restoration on something like that, if, you know, a brand-new road, we try to keep the water main out of the pavement.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some that you can't avoid, that we do need to follow the alignment under the pavement. In those situations, we'll rely a lot on directional drilling, but then you still have services and things like that. So, you know, we really try to minimize, and that's a more along the lines of when we get into more detailed design, and we're actually identifying the specific alignments of the infrastructure. Right now, it's a report. We have a high-level dollar per foot. We have an allowance for restoration and all that. Some of it's gonna be on the road, some of it's gonna be in the shoulder, some of it's gonna be along the ditch lines.
So typically when you do this, do you abandon the old pipe?
Yeah, yeah.
And then what are you replacing it with? Is this HDPE?
So HDPE, PVC, we're seeing less and less ductile these days because of the cost.
Yep.
And then you would do the service line transfers. So once the new water main is installed, pressure tested, chlorinated, flushed, all that good stuff, and certified, you would do the service transfers over to the new line, and then you would have a planned abandonment of the old infrastructure.
So all we're approving here is resolutions to go for the grants. That's all we're approving.
Really, just for us, there's two resolutions, I believe. One resolution is really to submit this report into the PLUS system, into EFC and Department of Health, like we did last year. And then again, similar to last year, just go after grant applications.
What's the obligation on the town's part if we do get the grant? If we don't get as much money as we think we're gonna get?
I don't know of any obligation,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I think it's the same as
I
last year.
still think the EDUs are too high on this.
Yeah,
but-
it's gonna be, you know, be where we were last year, so see what comes of this, and then it's really up to the town board to decide.
That's what I'm saying. If it's, I just don't want the town to be stuck
No.
Right.
going forward with these EDUs and the ability to pay by the residents of the town. I don't think is there.
But you're still comfortable applying for this?
Yeah, if we have no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nate, are these resolutions down below?
I was gonna say they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're down below.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions?
No, thank you so much for
Thanks,
all your
Eric.
work on this.
You're very welcome, thank you.
Okay, we'll visit those when we go to resolutions. All right, moving on. We have 6.1, we don't have any public hearings tonight. New business, 7.1, voucher claimant signature discussion. I know Jay worked on this one.
So currently, our claimant voucher has a section for a claimant certification. And after reviewing this, you guys saw the notes I made there, New York State Town Law 118. It is up to the town board, if I have that right, Nate, to decide whether or not they want a claimant certification. I quoted the section in the law in this, and even by our own resolution that we did on February 18th, it does not state that we require claimant certification. So, in looking back at this, Nate, I'm not sure that we need a motion for this because we don't have it in a resolution from February 18th, or does housekeeping suggest that we do this to have it removed? Because it clearly says optional, so I wasn't sure whether or not we just, as a board, instruct the town clerk to call Williamson and have it removed from the voucher, or whether or not we need a motion to do this, or do we need an amendment to our resolution we did in February?
So the form has not been approved by the town board, right? That was just something that came from Williamson and I believe has just been used. And so what I think you would be asking for is Williamson to edit this form, and then you guys approve the form, you know, as it's presented to you. Because like I don't believe you've ever actually approved the Williamson form.
We didn't. That's
And
why I went back and looked at
it-
this, and I was
right.
like, okay, wait a minute, what are we doing here?
And it's one of those things, you purchase software, it came with forms in it, the forms got used, nobody questioned it. So I,
We talked about that when we started doing that.
well, I don't remember.
Regardless, though,
Yeah.
it was not included in the resolution in February.
Right. So I think, you know, if the board is expressing like, yeah, we don't want or feel we need to have those signatures, then Adam can contact Williamson, ask him to change the form to remove that, and then you guys can have a resolution approving that updated form as the form to use.
Okay. So I'll make a motion.
But hold on, before you make that motion, can you do that, ahead of time?
Have Williamson remove it?
Well, can they give you the updated form so we can vote on it before it goes to another abstract?
I don't see why not.
Okay, that's all I'm asking, then you can go forward.
The
That's-
only thing is, I'm the only one that uses the Williamson form. All the other departments use an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah,
that-
but what I'm saying is I just didn't want us to get into the next abstract with this new form before it's approved.
Yeah, we'll have one more abstract with the current way we're doing it.
Okay,
At the
that's
next
fine.
meeting, we can all get eyes on it and then push it through.
That's fine, perfect.
That's the only question I have, because Adam brought it up. We use Excel, so once that's approved, we need to be able to match that form because we can't get on Williamson to use
Oh,
that.
just would- you'll-
So, just so we can take off whatever, so
Yep.
it matches, so that we don't have this issue or
Yep.
concern that.
We'll
we're two
update,
different ones.
every department's gonna have to update.
The only
their-
other one that I have a question with is because I can't make contractors or companies change theirs. And I'm gonna use Broom Bituminous for an example. They send us their voucher. We utilize theirs and I sign that because that's their way of doing it. They have that on there. Does that matter? Is that gonna be an issue? Because
It's still optional, and as long as we, and
I
maybe
just wanna-
correct me if I'm
I-
wrong,
I-
as long as we identify it, that we're not utilizing that, it becomes irrelevant.
I just wanna make sure up front that that's why, just for us, so you guys know when we see this, cause I know there's been a lot of discussions with abstracts and things. These are things that have questioned about just from my end. Sorry.
No. No need to apologize.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think it's fine. What everyone has just talked about, it should be fine.
Okay,
So do we need a motion to instruct the town clerk to have Williamson remove that?
No, I don't think so. And the reason for that is because you guys have never approved a form. And so what Adam is now doing is preparing a form, and then and knowing what you've now expressed as your desire, he's preparing the form and presenting it to you for its approval.
And then we'll
okay
approve
with that? We'll just put that on next
Thank you.
meeting's topics. Okay. Thank you for doing that. All right, we're into department reports. 8.1 highway report. Darren.
All right, first there, I had a conversation with Hunts. They sent me the stuff and said that they've done their site survey and they are in the process of the CAD mapping generation portion of it. We had the soil boring done. They're just waiting to get that full geotech report back. And they have started their analyzing of how the building should be placed and the look of that. So as soon as I have all that, which I'm hoping within by next week, we should have it, and then on for the next meeting. So if we can keep this on, we can keep updated on this as fast as we can to keep it moving. Still have not heard anything directly from DEC on the actual grant itself. I sent another email today trying to find out when we might know something. I have not heard as of 3 o'clock today. Two other things quick that came up that I just want you to know. We did start paving a little bit. I got a couple roads done, but obviously without a state budget passed, I can't really do a lot of road work yet until we know exactly how much money we're getting from the state. So it's my understanding, I got an email late this afternoon that said hopefully by the end of the week, the state will have a signed state budget, but I'm not counting on that right now. So, but I'm fingers crossed, and then we'll be able to continue and get back to the road work, hopefully as much as we can with the prices. So everything is at top dollar right now. Most expensive it's been in 15 years, they said. We're almost at 800 for the oil index. We're at 794 right now as of today. Yep. So that's a hard thing, but it may have to adjust some of the stuff that I do, just so you guys know, but I'll keep you posted. And then I had a conversation just real quick with Greg today. They were doing a good job with the pump stations and everything, but I have a concern with, and I did talk to Greg, I'm gonna try to reach out to a resident on Clarendon Drive, but we have lost our access to the drainage swale without going on private property right now. And I have not had a chance to reach out to the resident to see if they would still be okay with that due to the placement of the hydrant. I didn't realize where that was being placed at the time. But I did talk to Greg, and I did say I'm gonna try to find out from the homeowner next door if we can access if we need to. But as of right now, I have no access. Just want everybody to know that I'm working on this. So hopefully I can have some update what we need to do, and I'll get with Nate on tomorrow and just see where I need to go with this. But I wanted to wait to meet with him tomorrow anyway, but I just keep you guys in the loop on that, in case somebody says something.
Backing up to the roads, Darren, the roads left over from last year that you have budget to do now, what, is that enough money now?
So right now, no. What I proposed in my 284 agreement is nowhere near what I can do right now. I have enough projected because I did stop where we're at to facilitate and finish the road work once the NICEAG gets done with that development,
This
doing
is
the mains up
Columbine,
in Columbine and that whole area, because I know they've destroyed it and I put it off just because of the work going on. So I have money at least to do that within no raise of state funds. So I've got money for that area. It's the next ones after that. So some other stone and oil things, or a third stage of paving of certain other roads that I put in the 284. But if they raised our CHIP funds too and they sign it, we might be able to. I'm not sure though, but I'll keep you posted. That area definitely is going to get done. I have to. There's just no way because of the way it is, and it's just not safe for A, the residents, and B, us when we get into the winter.
Okay.
All right, sorry to extend that, but I wanted you guys to know all that stuff.
Just real quick too, over on Wallace Road, we're all done over there, right? Trash racks in?
Wallace Road is
I'm s-
done
Done.
to the extent of, we're on an extension right now, and I'm waiting to hear back from Dishes because there's no trash rack in there yet, but I have another plan to do the trash, an idea that I need to get
Okay.
with Alex. He's just been tied up with some other personal things, and it's fine. But we also have to do some topsoil seeding, haying, so I'm waiting for Dishes to get back to us as long as it's part of the grant with the extension, so that we're not paying out of pocket,
Okay.
because it's not finished on the ground side of it. And I need to get a fence put up for safety reasons around because it's over a certain distance for a fall. So that was a overlook on my
What's-
part at that time, but
What's your expectation on that from a schedule standpoint? For hearing back from them?
I would love to, I think we have a meeting at the beginning of June with them.
June?
Is our next meeting with them. But again, I met with the residents down there and I informed them what's going on, and they are understanding right now, so. But yeah, we definitely, and I said one way or another, by the end of June, beginning of July, if I gotta, if we have no answer,
Decision.
we're doing out of my own, out of the drainage side of it, just so I can get it taken care of.
There was a lot of extra budgeted money in the grant, so we're trying to use that for everything we can during the extension. They made application for it. And everything we've seen them do at the meeting wise, it just takes time. From the Dishes side of it, it takes
Yeah,
time to go through.
I mean, I agree. It doesn't seem like it's an unreasonable request. It just,
It's slow.
right.
No,
You
it's-
just want to get that obviously completed for that neighborhood.
Yeah, and us getting all the information that they wanted, they kept kicking back for something else, and we ended up finally with everything, so.
Have you given them an update? Storms have held up pretty well, right?
Yes, actually, the storm, it's been holding up really well. The last major storm, the big heavy rain that we had, the last one, I was down there and the pipe was running 3/4 full, but had plenty, never even came close to, because it was so wide, never backed up, so Knock on wood.
There were logs 4 feet up.
Yeah.
It handled it.
So it handled it, so knock on wood, we've cured part of it.
Are you good?
Sorry.
Any other questions for Darren?
I have none.
Thanks, Darren.
Thanks. All right, moving on, 8.2 DPW report, Greg.
You see there, I'm looking to purchase a new pump, motor, check valve, and pipe for the replacement of what we just used at 12A. There's multiple quotes there. The only quote I didn't get multiples of, because I couldn't find anybody local, or to give me another price, was the 6-inch pipe. But I'm asking the board to approve, allow me to use Lane Christensen to order the stuff I need to replace everything that we use.
So what repair did you do with, I know the splines went off on the shaft, they just welded stuff on there to keep it going? You didn't replace any new parts?
We replaced the pump, the motor, and that one quote there you see for the $950 for the pipe. We replaced 2 sections of pipe as well.
So the pump you put in there to fix it right away was a brand-new pump? But you're asking for another new pump to replace that one? Is that?
Yes, because this pump runs both of my wells, 12A and North Gate. They're interchangeable.
So we always have an extra one on hand
Okay,
for that situation.
okay.
So, Greg, I did look at these two. I'm not really sure if it's apples for apples comparison, because the one number that looked really far off to me was the check valve with the pipes, with the pipe and nipple. There seems to be a dramatic difference there. The other thing too is one was a Gould's, one was a Franklin. They look like they're the same match. I don't know if you did that, but just taking into account the same price from Lane for the 20-foot length of 6-inch pipe, it actually appears that Blake is a few dollars cheaper. But I'm assuming that, not unless I'm missing something. I mean, they look essentially close. They're within $300 of each other.
20-foot length of 6-inch pipe is what we installed on 5-4. They brought that pipe down with them
Oh, they,
for $950. That wasn't included when they came down here. They're billing me for that $950.
oh, so we actually owe them the $950.
Correct.
So the $950 actually isn't part of the quote, or is it?
It is, they added it all in because we owe them $950 for those 2.
So that part of the bill is gonna be there no matter what. And I saw that firsthand. I was there with Greg, so that's
Okay.
not a surprise to me. Thank God they had it with them.
So your recommendation is Lane.
Yes. They'll bring it right to me, it stays on freight. They'll actually store the pipe for me until I need it. So they'll bring it with them.
Okay, so just to clear, we owe them for a length of pipe, and they're gonna hold a length of pipe for us?
We're gonna get new pipe for if we have, when we go to do this again, I always like to have pipe on hand. Because what we put in was used pipe, wasn't brand new pipe, the 950.
Okay,
Because we needed 2 pieces of pipe, which we didn't have on hand.
okay. So we're just paying for the piece of pipe we already utilized?
Yes, that's the 950.
Right. But you're not, they're just holding you one, we're not paying for an additional pipe for,
At the bottom, you see the check valve, pipe, and nipple, that's replacing the check valve. All
there's the
brand new pipe
disparity. Okay,
And the nipple.
okay, so that's the disparity between Blake and Lane.
Link doesn't sell pipe.
Got it.
So, only guy Link can do it for 6.
When they pulled the old pipe out of the ground, it was like literally falling apart.
I was just trying to look
Yeah.
at the comparison here.
No,
All
totally.
right, so you're recommending
Allow me to.
we approve it from Lane?
Yes.
Okay, and you just had these two quotes, right? And I think it's still okay with the,
Does this include work, Greg? Or it's just the purchasing of the equipment and stuff?
this,
Purchasing.
yeah, this is just stock parts.
Okay.
They will charge me to put it in.
I'm just thinking of the competitive threshold of for purchase of stuff is
Right,
20
but
grand.
this is but wouldn't this be considered a standard replacement?
Quite potentially. It's also 4 separate types of things being purchased, so we look
Right.
at all of them
But
None of
all
them
of that,
actually exceed
because you can
20.
use this both at 12A and Northgate, right? I guess that's why I'm considering that a standard replacement.
If we've standardized, so that,
Well, he did with 2 of them so far. I don't know another one he can do it, but
so we can, I mean, we can, in the resolution that ends up either ratifying your motion tonight or waiting for him to purchase, you know, at the next meeting, you'll do a resolution. We can identify these as this is the standard for this equipment going forward, and then you also.
is
you know,
that
approve
fair
it.
to say, Greg? That, you know, obviously you're trying to get it, so it is kind of standard. And if we move forward with the Hyder well, I'm assuming you would have something very similar.
The last time I bought a cooler pump, I actually bought it from like equipment. It was cheap.
Right, but they don't sell, yeah, I saw that. Okay,
Yeah, so, I mean, standardizing though, of course, means, you know, if it's, I'm just gonna say Gould's pumps, it will always be Gould's pumps, right? No other
right,
options.
that and the size and the, yeah, I
Right.
got it.
So the line you want to take it out of your,
It's in that recommendation.
yep.
Yes.
So you got 96,000 left in that line. You're spending about 21,000 a month. So you're not going to have enough to finish. You need about 147,000 to finish the year out. And then you're taking this out of it too. So you're going to be quite a bit under. I'm just letting you know. I mean, you have money in there now to buy this, and I know you need it and you gotta buy it, but we're gonna have to,
So maybe
Visit
you
that.
should review your budget too and see how you're tracking throughout that.
you
The
did
water
get your
department.
money from the county. It's going to get addressed. It's here. It came in one of the checks with all the other tax money.
Oh.
So we have to break it all out, but we have researched that.
Any
So,
other questions that I posed,
for,
that I emailed,
for,
budgeting and stuff?
yeah, we're waiting till the firm comes on. We're meeting with them on Friday.
The other thing I have is I had another resident who had a higher than normal water bill, would like a reduction. You see my recommendation there, this is where the reduction to 50%.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
I mean, that was a policy we had with the previous one, so it's kind of hard to change it.
I just want to make sure we're uniformed on this. We're always doing 50%? Are we doing previous bills, or what are we doing?
Did 50% last time.
That's what we did for was it Mr. Springer over on? Okay.
Okay.
Just want to make sure we're uniform.
So when that happened, could you tell that amount of water was being just wasted, or you just thought it was a leak somewhere in the system?
He could, I could. I mean, I
Okay.
may see it on my chart, very little, but that's not enough to really
Yeah.
show me that there's a leak. He sees it. We saw that when we built it. We get the high usage, and we notify them that there's high usage. And that's what triggered him to see the bill, and say, oh, whoa, I have a leak.
No, I think we do need a motion.
I think we need a motion to approve that, his recommendation. 50% reduction. I'll make a motion to approve Greg's recommendation for a 50% reduction and Mr. Brooks's water bill due to a break.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
Done.
Mr. Slota?
Aye.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hobart is absent. Mr. Warden?
Aye. Okay, takes care of that.
Am I needed for any resolutions or anything? Or anything else?
It's up to you.
I would say, hang on for a second, because there's a discussion coming up regarding an EDU. Thank you.
Okay, we done with DPW? Any questions for Greg?
I'd have none.
None.
No? Okay. Gonna move on to 8.3, Attorney's Report.
So you see it there. And then you'll also see another attachment about EDUs. Catherine had emailed the town board a couple times, I think, with what no, never mind. So I think Jody actually attached the wrong email. Catherine had emailed you guys about the process for review and approval of the EDU amounts assessed against properties. She talked with Town of Kirkwood. And so I didn't want that to get lost, because it is the town board's responsibility ultimately to approve and hold a public hearing on the EDU assessments and then approve the final EDU assessment roll. So Catherine, as the assessor, has the principal responsibility of actually preparing the assessment roll for special assessments like this, and so she's done that. She's done that as part of the normal property tax roll preparation. She has filed the preliminary roll, then the final roll is going to get filed here on June 1st or July 1st or something like that. That's for, so this roll fills dual purpose, real property taxes and EDU assessments. So you guys need to hold a public hearing on that, and we need to provide notice to all the property owners of like, hey, here's your EDU assessment. We should theoretically do that individually, which is what we did the last time. Greg's team mailed out, or had notice, somebody mailed out notices to everybody. That's what I remember. So yeah, Greg's team. So we did it late last year, really by the skin of our teeth, managed to get it all knocked out. I'd like to have you guys do this public hearing and let's get the notice out to everybody, in the next month or two, so that it's finalized and the county's got it and we're not asking them to change anything last minute. So Kirkwood, what Catherine had noticed or flagged is that they have, I guess, some separate board that they've appointed to handle this process. That's something that you could theoretically do as well, but it's just, we need to do it, and it's just a question of when you guys want to do it. And then regarding this gentleman's specific thing, I guess that's obviously a different issue, and whether or not you want to grant that or not will be up to you guys.
So my feeling on EDUs is we don't have enough time to do it before she presents the final rule.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
There's no way.
No, yeah, and I think that's fine, because from the county's perspective, like we're not planning on changing anything.
Okay. If somebody
that.
comes in and argues, then we're gonna have to address it like we address these other ones. If we see that it's not correct.
Yeah, so I will talk to Catherine about basically what we did last year was we created a separate roll, not the the property tax assessment roll that Catherine normally handles. We had a completely separate roll. What she's done is combine them. What I would like to do is pull back out of this, basically recreate what she's done, only with just the EDU number on there, not the rest of the property valuation. I don't know if she can do that or not, but that would be so that way there are, in fact, two completely separate rolls. And that way the property tax one can go to the county like in the normal course, and then we can resolve our sewer assessment roll like we did last year. Just we'll do it sooner than we did last year. And then we can send that to the county too, and they can incorporate it into the tax bill coming out in January.
So to the specific topic here, on this one, Greg, are you familiar with this parcel that we're referring to? So what I didn't see is how you guys arrived at all this, right? I get the value of the EDU. I don't have the road frontage piece in front of me, and I didn't look up the formula. I think when we do this, what would be really helpful for me is, almost show the work of how you guys arrived at this.
Right at the new number or
Yeah.
the old number?
No, the new one. I'm assuming you're in agreement. with the new number?
Well, we talked about it, and we left, you know, it's obviously in your hands. The road frontage, there's not accessibility to drive down the road, no. But the accessibility to have the utility is there. So it's really up to you guys. Do you want to base it on if they can drive down it, or the accessibility?
I guess when I look at this is, are you in agreement, first let's step back. Are you in agreement with how this new EDU is calculated?
If we remove the frontage because yes.
But okay, but are you indicating to me that that is not our policy currently? Is we don't remove frontage because it's on a corner? Or accessibility is a criteria for an EDU calculation?
Our calculation does not state, we'll call it drivable.
Okay.
It does not state that. It states road frontage. And if there's two sides on the commercial, that's what it states. So we based the original from the road frontage that we received from Broome County, GIS. That's what we based their original EDU on.
Using both road frontages?
Yes.
So Nate, if we don't have any criteria for an exception, how do we approve this? Because this could, I can see several people making this argument. Now granted, he's got, I'll call it a pre-existing non-conforming use because of the setback. But again, there is nothing that I'm aware of that provides us an opportunity for relief in this condition.
And there's not a,
And granted, we're not talking about a lot of money. This is more about a procedural piece.
and there's not a set, like some of the EDU formulas label out for commercial businesses. There's not one just set for auto detailing or auto, there's, you know, that's the weirdest one we have, is there's nothing set there stating we use this. We have to look at it and it reads, you know, how we interpret it, kind of in the town code.
Sorry. The way Catherine wrote this email, though, would lead me to believe, and I am familiar with the property, sort of, no longer has access to. Was that at one point in time a
But
road
that's
they
not-
drove on?
It is a road,
It's a
right?
road,
It's a road, but here's the thing. We didn't remove the access.
Yeah, so like, I'm looking at Google Street View.
Yep.
Like, I mean, this is a road, right? Or no?
It was always a town road.
That's right.
New look,
New look.
with the fences between New Look.
Don't even go there.
Do you plow that road?
No, there's a problem. So this goes back to when Maine's put it in. The state DOT had to shut off that, they were in their rights, they wanted that road shut off completely there. So at that time, the town gave some to New Look and some to Maine's, and shut it off right back there. It wasn't anything that the town did, the state just did it because of, it was part of the process of allowing Maine's to go where they did because of the axis being so close in proximity in the traffic flow. And that's all I can remember
so
on that.
the-
So it is no longer a road coming out to Front Street, it stops behind their building now, and they own.
Was it
That.
deeded, was it
Okay.
deeded over to Maine's and deeded over to?
If you
New
go to
Look?
GIS, it should have been yes.
So
'cause
it's
we
not
don't-
a town road.
The downfall
so-
to that is we may still have a sewer or
That's what
some
Jay
type
is-
of
Easement.
easement going through there, which allows us to still have access to that. I don't know if that
So-
means anything.
So to Jay's point, we're kind of setting the precedence right now.
Well, I think we can,
I don't know
I
how many
think
more
the
times this
adjustment
will
really
happen,
needs to,
right?
think the adjustment needs to be made in the criteria and how we look at the EDUs. right? I mean, certainly we can take these on a case-by-case basis, but I think there needs to be some criteria in there of how we're gonna do this. I understand what he's talking about. I'm familiar with the parcel. I didn't know the history of that.
Yeah, me neither.
So currently, Darren, you can't get through there. You have to drive around to access.
You
what's it
have to go
called?
in from behind the old spot
gotta
at the
go behind
light,
the
go all
spot
the
to
way
get in there.
down, and then it dead ends by the trailer park. So it comes up behind some of the trailers.
But there's a
And then
gate
there's a gate, we plow up to that port, and
To the
that's as far
gate.
as, to the gate, as far as we can go.
to his building.
And that's because they own that property between them and Maine's.
Yeah, so I mean, what I think it would mean is, Darren has said, that is not a road anymore,
Fair enough.
which
Okay.
means it should not be counted for the road frontage.
Correct.
And that's fair.
And that's what this calculation is based off. So
And-
for those reasons, I would feel comfortable giving this refund.
As is the same would be for Maine's then.
It would be.
Yeah, if theirs is calculated the same way, then yes.
But Darren, interestingly enough, you have no access through there. We don't have any rights through there, even though we could have infrastructure. You did retain easement.
He's got a water line, and I believe there's sewer through there.
Well, that
That's
doesn't
some-
matter for road frontage
No,
calculations.
I realize that, but when he said.
But
No,
they
I
have it
think we- I
completely
do
blocked
believe we
off
have
that we
easements
can't,
for
we have to
that.
move all the obstructions before we can do anything. Because ironically, when we discussed the drainage situation in Wallace Road area, it all came up because that was the easy access point to go through.
Yes.
And when we dealt with it, Keegan was like, you guys, or was it Keegan? Maybe, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. You don't own that. We can't just say we're gonna go through there now. Because we don't own that property anymore without going through the proper channels for easements for a drainage one now at that point. So it did come up before, so I know we don't own, that we've closed that. It's no longer a road.
Yeah, based on Greg and Catherine's recommendation, I think we approve this.
So the new EDU is based on just the one frontage plus.
Yeah, Catherine has already said she's including in the sewer debt assessment roll the one without the extra frontage. She said she's done that. She's just asking if you guys would authorize a partial refund to this gentleman based on the apparent error.
Yeah,
Is this in a resolution for
No.
today?
No, it's not
No,
a
but you
resolution.
can
for
create
today.
one for the
Yeah,
next meeting.
or we could do it next week.
Yeah,
Next meeting, I'm sorry.
Next meeting, and
I would make a motion that we do this in the next meeting.
I don't think you need to make a motion. You can just add it to the future topic as a resolution for next meeting.
I just think, Greg, going forward, whenever we do this, it would be great if you guys would just show us how you arrived at that. You know, put the road frontage numbers in there, just kind of copy and paste that, the piece that describes the EDU and how you calculate it. It would just be very helpful to see that.
I didn't see what you're looking for.
Catherine just wrote an email talking about the refund, but when that comes up, that'd be great. Thank you.
okay. Do you have anything else, Nate?
I'm good. Thanks, Greg.
I'm good. Moving for anything else?
Do you have anything else, Nate?
Nope, that should be it.
Greg, that email was sent last week. You are on it if you want to look at it tomorrow.
That one?
Yeah, with the photo, you're CC'd on it on the 20th, so a week ago. But
Okay.
yeah, just if you want to see exactly the picture that we're referencing.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, moving along. Any questions for Nate before we move along? Everybody good?
Thanks,
You
Nate.
got off easy. All right, supervisor's report. The only thing I have is something I'd like to add to future topics, but we can talk about that when we get to future topics. And we're meeting Friday with the accounting firm at 10 o'clock. That's all I got. I'll have a whole bunch more next week or next meeting. All right, moving along. Anybody have any questions for me? Because I don't have any answers. All right, resolutions, 9.1.
Resolution approving abstract number 10.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
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 Mr. Slota.
Aye.
Mr. Simonis.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden.
Aye.
9.2, resolution approving purchase of camera.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Did
So-
we get this straightened out? Sorry.
So, no. So it appears that we have purchased 2 cameras. I know we have to approve this because we owe them the money. I am not in favor of installing these cameras. These cameras came with microphones, and I think that's unfair to that office to have this recording, kind of a two-way conversation that can be listened into. So I would like an additional camera purchased that does not have two-way communication or a microphone included in it.
Or Gene had brought up the fact, do we have an extra camera that can be tied into this system? Or what would the cost of getting an additional camera?
We can certainly look at that. It looks like these cameras were pretty cheap.
No,
It
these
looks
are
like
s-
these were like $30 range.
Yeah, I mean, so
Regardless, either way, plus, I know we're looking into the telemetrics of the system
yes.
to be able to access that. But I am not in favor of installing these cameras. I don't think it's fair to that office.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I agree that I feel comfortable approving this.
To pay it.
To pay it. The second camera still needs to be sent back, correct?
So the way I drafted it was that this would authorize purchase of both cameras. But what I'm also hearing is I think Jay thinks they should go back, and you think they should go back,
100%.
so.
You all know how I feel about it.
Yeah, so just do a motion to have DPW return the cameras. I mean, if that's where you're headed.
Can we return those, do you think? Try?
The one we should definitely be able to.
My wife
don't-
returns
I
everything
don't
on
know,
Amazon, so I don't know how it
I don't know
works.
though. We may be. This is 2 sets of vouchers ago. We may be
Might be too
without,
late.
already within the 30-day window.
I'm not so concerned about returning them.
Me
I
either.
just do not want them installed. I don't think it's fair for
Fair.
the employees in that
It's not.
office when someone can listen into their conversations.
Yeah, that and the fact that the supervisor doesn't even have access to it.
They've been installed.
Oh, they're installed.
Yeah.
They need to be removed.
They need to be removed. I'm in favor of that.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have a resolution out there for the purchase of these cameras that was made a motion in a second.
And then I think after you resolve this purchase, then do a motion to direct DPW to remove the cameras.
And turn them into the supervisor's office, so we have accountability of where the 2 cameras are.
And
Because
and
I
try
don't
to
even know where the
return
second one is.
okay. That's good.
and try to return them if you can.
Yeah,
That
no,
I
no,
didn't
no.
know, so, okay.
Any other discussion on this resolution 9.2?
No.
Mr. Slota.
Aye.
Mr. Simonis.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden.
No.
So I make a motion that we remove the,
Instruct
instruct DPW to remove the current installed camera, as well as the secondary camera, wherever that is, and give them back to Jody, and Jody can coordinate with the clerk's office to make an attempt to return these.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that?
I have none.
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 Mr. Slota.
Aye.
Mr. Simonis.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden.
Aye.
Resolution 9.3,
But,
ratifying.
Kevin, are you in favor of any kind of camera in there at all?
We can look at, I can give TrueView a call and see what a quote to put an actual town security camera in there that shines on the,
That gives Greg mobile access to just that.
it doesn't, and I don't know if there is mobile access to it, so I would
Look
even,
on it. Can we give him access to just that one camera on a laptop or something?
I don't know, I'd have to ask TrueView.
Okay, let's ask those questions.
If I
'cause this serves a great
recall-
purpose.
If I recall, the issue was Greg wanted the, that's right, he's not here. Greg wanted the ability to review
The
it
pressure.
from like home or
Yes.
something, right?
So he doesn't have to drive here to see that we're losing pressure in the bridge or whatever. The purpose of this is very, very fantastic. But the means of which this all played out is concerning from a department perspective and a judgment perspective. For me, I'm only speaking for Luke right now. And then when it was brought to my attention today, the concern of people listening in on other people's conversations, that's not fair at all. Dave, I'm sorry,
No,
I'm talking.
no, go ahead, no. When we first started out, he was talking about getting a camera. It was gonna be through Wi-Fi, and we thought that our, rest of our system wouldn't be secure. But if we purchase one the way you want it, it ties right into our protection that the town has?
Yes.
Yes,
That-
if
that's-
we go through our security system, it'll be
Okay.
protected.
So let's call them and ask, and if
Yep.
Kevin, if you want to CC me on that, and I come and meet them here and act as a liaison for that, I'm more than happy to.
Yep, we'll get a hold of them tomorrow.
Might I also just put back in your ear the telemetry data, right? I mean,
I'm all for the telemetry. This
why-
camera
why
thing
buy
is
another
like,
camera?
it's
like-
old school. We
Yeah, I mean, is there a way to get some automated?
Greg, I know Greg had reached
Absolutely.
out to whatever this company is, but I'm not sure he's heard back, if he's heard anything. So, I mean, that would be the thing to really follow up on, instead of buying another camera.
What do you mean by telemetry?
So basically, he has the ability to go in from his phone, and he can actually see the metrics that are being displayed on the screen without actually looking at the screen. The screen will be on his phone.
And
So all
show
it
'em
is
the
a remote,
pressure,
so all the
water
screens
flow.
that he has
Okay.
on the wall in his office,
Mhm.
he'll be able to see those on his phone remotely.
Okay.
I mean, I can look at my thermostat from here at home. Totally different, but same deal. I can turn the temperature down 5 degrees from here and whatever. This system sounds like it's that advanced. Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on.
9.4, resolution approving.
9.3.
Right. Sorry. Resolution 9.3, ratifying UPS purchase motion. Note an amendment to clarify you chose option 2. I had mistakenly thought you'd somehow chosen both options, so it was drafted that way. So I've sent Adam the amended motion, or excuse me, resolution to reflect option 2 as the selected choice.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
None.
Mr. Slota?
Aye.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden?
Aye.
9.4, resolution adopting roofing permit fees.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
None.
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 Mr. Slota?
Aye.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden?
Aye.
9.5, resolution authorizing submission of funding applications for Amendment 1, ED-related water system improvements to the Town of Shenango Water System Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
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 Mr. Slota?
Aye.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden?
Aye.
9.6, resolution authorizing listing of Amendment 1, EC-related water system improvements on the NYSEFC Drinking Water State Revolving Fund Intended Use Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
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 Mr. Slota?
Aye.
Mr. Simonis?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hulbert is absent. Mr. Warden?
Aye. Was there any other resolutions that we? No, we tabled that one. Okay. Okay. All right, 10.1, future board topics. So I have, to start off with, the town employees, well, clerk's office and Renee, we have been working on like a town survey link on our website, not for like the comprehensive plan, but for like visitors that come into the town or people that come in to do business in the town, they would be able to click a link basically for feedback.
Yeah, it's all done, it's just leaking right now, so as soon as y'all approve it, it would show up as a, you're gonna do a survey based on your, visit today. Then I just got all the departments, rating scanner, comments, email, and it would go to the town supervisor. And it
So I would just like to maybe put that on a future topic, so the board can discuss if this is something that they were interested in doing or not, and how you would like to, where you would like it to go and how you'd like it to be addressed.
Yeah, let's add that on I'm good to add that one.
Okay, we'll put that under new business for next agenda. Is social media discussion?
That's on,
That can stay on the next one.
Yep.
Okay.
Because we'll have a more thorough
Okay.
recommendation. I did, yes, it's perfect. Thank you.
Resolutions, was it claimant form?
yes, for the voucher.
And with the
The
voucher
claimant
form?
certification with the
With the
voucher
backup
form, so we'll
material.
need that blank voucher, yeah, to approve that.
And that will be on as a resolution.
Resolution for
Yeah.
next meeting?
Perfect.
And the resolution for the EDU refund for New Look
Yes.
for the next meeting? I'll get you budget line for that.
Kevin, let's keep the town manager discussion on there. I'll have something for that. I'll get to Jody.
Okay.
I think we should have something on the comprehensive plan status.
We have a meeting June 30th.
Is that what it
Is
is?
it on there already? But
We just got a thing of meeting June 30th.
It was a notice that was sent out.
Do you
Is that what
want it?
was, Darren? So,
But I think we're a little discouraged with our communications between us and Colliers.
I'm
I
seeing
think the
that.
whole town board should be in the loop.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair. I didn't even know the email. Renee told me tonight when I came in that there's a meeting on the 30th, and they're not even gonna be present. And it's our first meeting. I thought that's part of the whole process, is we're paying them to be here, so that, and this is not just a kickoff, this is our first full-on meeting. So that's what Renee was telling me. She can speak more on, sorry not to step on your toes, but I'm trying to, as part of that committee, I feel they should, we're gonna have a meeting, and this is our first, why are they not here? And we're paying them, what is it, some $1,000 to do this?
150.
And they're gonna be virtual?
We have to look at the,
We're
we have to
here.
look at the contract that we signed.
I don't know what it,
There was supposed to be some virtual.
There's some virtuals in the
thought there
contract.
was
There's this, I think, 7 meetings. I'd have to pull the contract in person, so they've done 1 already, so now we're down to 6.
So it's probably every other month they deemed it that, or every other meeting, I'm sorry.
yeah,
But-
so, but if you're looking at 7, we're gonna be short-staffed on meetings. We haven't had anything on, we're gonna have one in June, so that means July, August, September, October. We're gonna have meetings in June, July, and August.
But I'm assuming that the in-person ones are gonna be more when we have the board involved and they're presenting the plan and they're.
Yeah, I just don't know, and I think that's what they've reached out,
So, yeah, what do you wanna do? Do you
I'm
wanna
not-
put, it, just like we have everything else on there, like wastewater treatment plant updates? Do you wanna
Yeah,
have that?
I'm talking less than 5 minutes, just because it's been kind of frustrating for us dealing with them so far.
Does the board want that?
yeah, I
An
think,
update
yeah,
every
Yeah,
week?
no.
let's try an update,
A
yeah.
placeholder
Yeah,
on the
a
agenda?
placeholder, and then you can just wave it off if there is no update.
I don't know if this is standard procedure with them. Maybe it's going to turn out to be the finest report we could ever have, but they're just kind of leaving us just hanging there. They're talking about, we got to get so much energy to get people involved in this committee, blah, blah, and nothing.
Well, yeah, and I question also if, and I guess Nate, maybe I'll defer to you, but like, for example, the lockdown law or this smoke shop concern, although there would be ordinances involved, are those part of comprehensive plans in other municipalities?
Well, I mean, so when it comes to smoke shop distances, that would be enacted through zoning, which would be, you would want to make any changes to your zoning law in accordance with your comp plan, and you're in the middle of updating it. Now, you don't have to wait necessarily, but, that would be. Lockdown is nuisance property issues, not really comprehensive plan issues.
Okay.
It's about how somebody's doing bad stuff at a property and you want to
Yeah.
make them stop. So one of the things that I was talking with another client of mine, and I was like, oh yeah, they're nearing the end, it's Town of Ulysses, they're nearing the end of their comp plan process. And, I was like, oh yeah, like, this is what's going on with this town. And she mentioned, the town supervisor there mentioned, like, one of the very first things that they did was really comprehensively think through what is their public engagement, public involvement plan and media outreach to get you know, just the word out that the town was doing something. I mean, I asked, I don't think anyone's responded in this email chain that I'm copied on, like, has anyone talked to the news about this?
And I think there's some miscommunication here because when we signed this contract, when we were under the assumption that they were handling all that. It says it in the contract. And I don't believe that it's being done that way.
So we'll need to revisit the contract and hold them accountable for it, you know, and then this is one of the things I think I'd recommended that like a chairperson be appointed for this committee. Somebody who's the point person to be in charge of, you know, looking at what are they doing, not just at the meetings themselves and in the report, but like, are they doing the things that they're supposed to be doing? Like who do you want to monitor that?
And I wonder if that's a co-chair and it's one of the, whether it be a board member or a town employee, but also is the other co-chair one of the residents? So it's not just one person kicking the ball down the field.
I mean, absolutely could be, you know, but I think, you know, Dave, to the extent that maybe you were dissatisfied with how it's rolling out, it's like, okay, but then it's either the town board who's going to be tasked with overseeing this, and you guys meet every 2 weeks, which is good, but also not fast enough to get timely things, you know, things done timely in the fashion they might need.
And part of what you were just saying, I think, will dovetail in the next meeting to the social media discussion, given there are some survey tools where we can blast out 5,000 text messages to town residents saying, hey, give us your feedback on this. It's important we know right now. But anyway.
No, but what struck me was the Collier's email saying there was only 110 responses to the survey, which is poor. You know, that's like maybe not 1%. What is it, town of 10,000? So yeah, that is 1%. That's like 1% of your town.
It's on social media. It's on that. If it's not on the news, you're not getting probably at least half the people in the town that know anything's going on.
We have no idea who's seen it
Most people.
on social media.
So this goes back to the public engagement campaign, like, you know, what's the strategies and.
Let's put that on the agenda for
Yes.
for next meeting, and I'll put the contract on there
Yeah,
so everybody can take a look at that.
yeah. I mean, I gotta thank Renee for kind of getting on their case. She's kind of a bulldog, and I like it, so,
Renee will get a response one way or another.
yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. I just want to talk about the replacement for Joy at some point. It's not about timing. It's about job duties and stuff that she does outside of being the secretary to the highway superintendent, and what roles is this position going to go forward with? Because that's going to determine time frame. She's got less than 180 days left of working days. So I just want to know, like, I'll have her put a list together of what she's been doing outside of the highway stuff. So then we can decide if that position's still gonna hold all those. If that's fine and Danny with me, I have no problem. But it's gonna determine whether the person how we go about getting the right person in that seat also, and timing.
So we'll need that included in that.
Yes, so at
What's the
some
earliest she can
point,
go? Like absolute very day one. she
April of
could.
next year. She is gonna be done April of next year. And again, I got time, but it's going to be more of a discussion on what does the board see fit for, that she's doing, you know, that when, I mean, I can do this in July if we need to.
Just pull
You
those
know.
descriptions together and those job duties and what.
So if you give me just think about a couple
Yep.
meetings down and just keep it in mind, maybe in July or something, beginning of July timeframe, she can put all that together, I'll start working on it, and then once we're ready to put it on, then we can at least discuss that portion of it.
Okay.
All right, so the secure vestibule we don't need, right? You're gonna meet. And
Yeah,
discuss
no.
that.
Kick that down
We'll
the
do
road.
something different.
Leave it in TBD.
Yep.
Do we still need to put the town storage network infrastructure on there for Gene?
Yes,
That needs to be put on there for next meeting.
yes.
So we don't need anything else there.
How's the roof in the garage there, Darren?
So what he did was actually very good. It helped. But he also found, not to keep it long, but he found some insulation stuffed up in there that was wet, and that was not supposed to be like that. So he did take some of that. He wants to test it to make sure. So at some point, I'm assuming Greg's gonna have an update with that.
Yep.
And then I'm working with Greg on the floors. At some point, we'll be asking for something. I gotta get with Alex to look it over for us and put a thing together.
Darren, I'd also like you to include the old highway garage, kind of a recommendation for the highway garage in Castle Creek. I know you and I have had a discussion, but we should probably get that on an agenda sooner rather than later, at least on a future topic sometime this summer.
Totally fine. You just let me know when you want my recommendation, and I will give it to you. Because
Town needs to do something.
I've heard a lot of, I don't want to say complaining, but wanting to know why we're not doing something with the building that is boarded up with windows.
Yep.
And it
All right.
doesn't look good. So.
Yep, we got it.
Do we need the EDU assessment thing on the next meeting?
Yeah, because I think we need you to schedule a public hearing on it, and then we need to make sure that we send notices out to every property that there's a public hearing on it. So, yes. So at the next meeting, we'll probably.
What do we want to discuss at the next meeting?
Just
How we're
when-
going to do that?
Well, what I
Because
think,
we want them to send out the EDU amount that they're going to be charged, correct?
we want to send the number of EDUs that are being assessed to each property,
But we
not the
don't-
dollar amount.
Okay. But that's going to be very confusing to people because they're going to be like, well, what?
Yeah, the only thing people can contest is the number of EDUs they're assessed. They're not going to have any say in the dollar amount per E EDU.
I understand that, but they somehow you have to equate it, like,
Yeah, what's an EDU worth, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and we
You could do what presently it is worth.
yeah, and we actually know the schedule of payments, so we can probably actually figure out what that
Oh, we could.
dollar amount is.
We
So,
can
I mean,
figure out what the
we
next
can
year is.
include that. But I would say probably your second or third meeting in July would be, to me, the public hearing target date, because that would give enough time to actually put the individual mailed notices that are going to go out to everybody together, because there's a lot of mailing to be
All
put
right.
together for that.
So June 24th, we announce the public hearing, post it?
So I think we should put it on next meeting's agenda so we can put some type of procedure together that we're going to do. Like,
Yeah, so the procedure is you schedule a public hearing,
the procedure's got to be to get the information out there.
then we get the information out there, mail it out to everybody, and then you hold the public hearing, and then you guys vote to make changes if anyone comes and says,
Yep.
I think I've got the wrong EDUs on my property. And
But
then you pass
I
a
don't know how
resolution.
long it's going to take to get that information out to people. I don't know how long it's
Yeah.
going to take to
Uh,
put
well-
it together to get it out to people.
And I'll talk to Greg before the next meeting to get a sense of, okay, this is how long he thinks it might take, because it's going to have to be Greg's staff, I think, that largely puts it
Okay.
together.
But I think we should discuss it and put a whole plan together and set the dates. Next
Right.
meeting.
Perfect.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
I think we should add to future board topics. I think we need the discussion, it's been requested several times regarding a lockdown law. I
Yes.
think we just put it on for discussion. And the other issue is that was brought up were the lawn signs. And I don't know what can be done about that, aside from just taking them down. I don't know what the consequences are to that, but I agree, there seems to be a significant amount of them. The other issue that was brought up were kind of abandoned properties. I know that's being addressed by code enforcement. So I think the current state law is what they're following. I don't have a follow-up on that, but I do think that a discussion regarding signage and lockdown laws is warranted because it's been requested several times.
Yeah, definitely put that on. We have lockdown law on there. under future topics. We just got to pick a date to talk about it.
Oh, there it is, I'm
Smoke
sorry, I
shops
see
are,
it,
smoke
I
shops
see it.
are on there too.
I saw the smoke shop, I didn't see the lockdown
need to
discussion.
pick
Okay,
some
I just wanted
dates
to make
for
sure
those.
that we had that, out there.
We just need to get some dates on those.
Yeah. I think if we can get this EDU piece out of the way, there's probably no reason why we couldn't attack that late June or July.
Yep, I agree. Let's get through the next meeting.
Yeah, let's get the EDUs out of the way, so we stay on schedule.
All right, does anybody else have anything for the next meeting?
I don't.
Yeah, from Hunt, yeah.
Yeah, just put that under your highway. All right. Everybody good for that? We're good. Moving on. Where are we?
So are we, sorry, back up.
Go ahead.
Are we putting lockdown on the next meeting, or it's
No.
No, lockdown,
the one after the last meeting of June?
yeah,
Okay.
because we've gotta get the EDU issue resolved with the public hearing. So, but I 100% believe that we can address that in June,
Okay,
for sure. So the 2 June meetings, are the 10th and the 24th. Or next meeting is the 10th.
10th.
So,
Correct.
yeah, there's probably no reason why we couldn't do that on the 24th.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure I have my research done for the lockdown
Yeah,
specifically.
so plan on the 24th.
Plan on the 24th. Put
Yep.
it all together.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to open forum. Guests shall speak in an orderly fashion or limited remarks, 5 time minutes or less. The speaker shall deliver their comments, concerns, and civil tone without the use of profanity, personal attacks, or other disruptive behavior, which may result in offender's removal from the meeting. The speaker shall not be interrupted except in a matter of urgency. Would anybody like to speak tonight? Okay. Nobody wants to speak. Do we have any executive sessions tonight?
Nothing on my end.
I think at some point, though, and I'm not prepared for it, but some of this contract discussion regarding the sewer project, I don't think we've resolved a lot of this. There's a lot of it that's still open-ended. You know, and it just kind of manifested itself when I saw the P&L memo with different dates on it. So, you know, if we get time in the next couple of meetings, I mean, it's been going on for quite a while, maybe an executive session would be warranted to have that discussion. Or actually, it would be attorney-client privilege. Yeah.
Nate looks excited about that.
So we have a employee in Department of Public Works where his probation will be coming up, period. So I think we need to go into executive session to discuss that. If you want.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. When's that period expire?
It was.
Is
a
it
period-
June?
Yeah, because it was a period of,
It hasn't gone by already, has it?
no,
No, it's coming up.
it began July 16th of 2025 for a period of 14 months. But I thought that was, the resolution.
Yeah. Was that on August or July last year?
It was Resolution 121 on September 17th.
So it's is it 14 months? from
14
Sep-
months from July 16th?
I think was 14 months from,
I'm just looking at the resolution.
Nate's got to give his legal on that.
Yeah, so it was extended for a period of 14 months, beginning as of July 16th, 2025, because that was when his prior probationary term was ending. So you extended it for 14 months from July 16th, so, 12, then August, September. So September 16th, 2025, it looks like.
Okay, so,
September of 2026, it's over.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
so,
But I wouldn't be in favor of doing that tonight.
Okay.
I think it's fair.
I'm just giving you a heads up.
No,
We
I know.
we
I
need
think
to
it's-
discuss
as-
this
As
stuff.
long as we know when it's there, I just think it would be fair if all the members were present for that discussion.
I'm just bringing it up. Anybody have anything else?
So we're gonna have that next meeting, right? Or-
We're gonna be able to, we should be able to, yes. We'll put
I
that
think
in. for-
probably we should, because it might be pretty important.
It is, and we're coming up on it. But again, I mean, obviously, we've got time tonight, but again, I don't think it's fair without the full board being present.
It's just a resolution. It's just a resolution, yeah.
no.
He can fill you, he can fill you in.
I don't know definitively.
He can fill you.
I'll stop tomorrow.
Okay, do we have anything else tonight?
We do not.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're out of here.